My friends, tonight I want to speak about something that touches so many lives, the pain of a wounded heart. When a man hurts a woman, whether through betrayal, neglect, harsh words, or broken promises, the pain runs deep. It is a wound that does not just heal with time. It requires something greater, something divine. When a woman's heart is wounded, it is not just an emotional pain, it is a deep, soul-crushing hurt that lingers long after the moment has passed. It is the kind of pain that keeps her awake at night, staring at the ceiling, replaying words that cut through her spirit like a blade. It is the kind of pain that makes her question everything, her worth, her trust, her ability to love again. When a man whom she once looked to for love, protection, and comfort becomes the very source of her deepest sorrow, the wound is not merely felt in her heart, it is felt in the core of her being. This kind of hurt does not heal overnight. It settles into the corners of her mind, casting shadows over the happiness she once knew. It turns laughter into echoes of what once was and replaces joy with a silent ache that no one else may fully understand. She may go about her daily life carrying the weight of that pain with a quiet resilience, smiling when necessary, nodding when expected, but inside, there is a storm raging, a storm of confusion, disappointment, and grief. Because when a man wounds a woman's heart, he does not simply cause a momentary sting, he shakes the very foundation of what she believed was real. Trust, once broken, is not easily rebuilt. The security she once felt in his presence now feels like a distant memory. The words that once brought her comfort now feel empty. And the love she once poured out so freely now feels like a risk too great to take again. For many women, this pain is not just about the present moment, but about the echoes of past wounds that resurface with every heartbreak. If she has been hurt before, each new betrayal, each harsh word, each moment of neglect only reinforces the lie that she is not enough, that love will always bring pain, that no one will ever truly stay. And so, the walls go up. She becomes guarded, hesitant, careful with her heart because she has learned, often through experience, that love can sometimes be a source of the deepest suffering. But the most painful part is not just the hurt itself, it is the loneliness that follows. The feeling that no one truly sees her pain, that no one understands the depth of her heartbreak. She may try to explain it, to put words to the ache inside her, but too often she is met with dismissiveness, told to move on, be strong, or stop overreacting. But how can she simply move on from a wound that was never given the chance to properly heal? How can she be strong when the very thing that gave her strength has been taken away? And so she carries it. Sometimes in silence, sometimes in tears, sometimes in the quiet moments when no one is watching, but always in some way she carries it. And unless healing comes, unless true restoration takes place, that wound remains buried beneath the surface, shaping the way she sees herself, the way she trusts, the way she loves. Because when a woman's heart is hurt, it is not just a fleeting pain, it is a deep, soul-level wound that requires more than just time to heal. A woman's heart is one of the most precious and sacred gifts in this world. It is a place of deep love, unwavering devotion, and incredible strength. When she loves, she does not love halfway, she loves with her whole being, giving of herself in ways that often go unnoticed. Her heart is where kindness dwells, where compassion flows, where warmth is found. It is the space where she carries the burdens of those she loves, where she nurtures dreams, where she holds on to hope even in the face of disappointment. A woman's heart has the capacity to endure, to sacrifice, to believe, to forgive. It is a reflection of something divine, something meant to be honored, cherished, and protected. Yet too often her heart is treated carelessly. It is taken for granted, overlooked, or seen as something to be used rather than treasured. Many fail to realize that when a woman opens her heart to someone, she is giving something irreplaceable, something that should never be handled recklessly. She is offering her trust, her loyalty, her tenderness. She is allowing someone into the most vulnerable parts of her soul, believing that they will not take advantage of that trust. And when that trust is broken, when her love is met with betrayal, neglect, or indifference, the wound is not just emotional, it is spiritual. It shakes the very foundation of what she believed to be true about love, about connection, about the goodness in others. A woman's heart is not weak. It is not fragile in the sense of being incapable of withstanding trials. On the contrary, it is incredibly strong. It has the power to endure heartbreak, to keep giving even when it has been hurt, to carry the weight of responsibilities that others do not see. It is a heart that loves beyond reason, that believes in the possibility of redemption, that fights for those it holds dear. And yet, despite all this strength, it is still vulnerable, it still needs to be treated with care. It is not made of stone, it feels deeply, it absorbs pain, it remembers the wounds inflicted upon it. There is something sacred about the way a woman loves. She does not simply love with words, she loves with actions, with selflessness, with a commitment that goes beyond fleeting emotions. She is the one who will stay up late comforting a loved one even when she is exhausted. She is the one who will put aside her own needs to ensure the happiness of those she cares for. She is the one who will hold on to faith when others have given up. She carries love not as a burden, but as a calling, something she was created to embody. And yet, this kind of love should never be exploited. It should never be assumed, never be taken without reciprocation, never be met with coldness or disregard. When a man is given the love of a woman, he is holding something rare. He is given access to a heart that longs to nurture, to encourage, to uplift. He is given the privilege of being trusted, of being chosen. But with that privilege comes responsibility. He is called to protect that heart, to be mindful of the words he speaks, the actions he takes, the way he responds to her needs. A woman's heart is not something to be toyed with, it is something to be cherished with the deepest respect. But too often the world teaches men to view love as a possession rather than a responsibility. It tells them that a woman's devotion is guaranteed, that she will always be there no matter how she is treated. And so they take advantage of her patience. They assume she will continue to pour out love even when they have given her nothing in return. They fail to see that even the strongest heart can grow weary, that even the most faithful love can fade when neglected. A woman's heart is not an unlimited well that can be drawn from without care. It needs to be replenished, nourished, treated with gentleness. And when it is, when a woman is loved the way she was meant to be loved, something extraordinary happens. She flourishes. She becomes even more radiant, even more alive. Her love deepens, her joy expands, her spirit soars. She pours out love even more freely because she knows it is valued, she knows it is safe. But when she is hurt, when she is taken for granted, when her love is dismissed as something ordinary, she begins to retreat. She begins to guard herself, to protect what is left of her heart, to close the doors she once opened so freely. The way a man treats a woman's heart says everything about his own. A man who understands the value of love will never treat it as disposable. He will not play games with her emotions, make promises he has no intention of keeping, or act as though her love is something he is entitled to. He will see it as an honor, a gift that he must prove himself worthy of. Because a woman's heart is sacred, it is not meant to be broken, but to be treasured. Men are not perfect. They stumble, they fail, they make mistakes. They are shaped by their experiences, their upbringing, their struggles, and sometimes by the very pain they have carried within themselves. No man walks through life without moments of weakness, moments of selfishness, moments where he falls short of being the person he was meant to be. This is the nature of human imperfection. But while imperfection is a reality, it is never an excuse to hurt the heart of a woman who has placed her trust in him. A man may say things he later regrets. He may act in ways that cause harm, sometimes without realizing the depth of his actions. He may be caught up in his own struggles, his own ambitions, his own distractions, and in doing so, neglect the one who has stood beside him. He may take her love for granted, believing that she will always be there, always waiting, always forgiving. He may assume that her patience is endless, that her willingness to understand his faults means he does not have to change them. But love is not built on assumptions. It is not something that can be sustained on apologies alone. A woman may be forgiving, she may be understanding, she may be willing to endure hardships for the sake of love, but she is not invincible. She feels the weight of every unkind word, every broken promise, every moment of neglect. She may not always speak of it, but she carries it. She absorbs it into the depths of her heart, and over time it shapes the way she sees the man she once believed in. When a man fails in love, it is not just a single moment of weakness, it is a pattern that, if left uncorrected, will erode the very foundation of the relationship. A woman can forgive, but she cannot forget the feeling of being unappreciated. She can be patient, but she cannot endure endless disregard. There comes a point where she begins to close herself off, where she no longer sees the love she once cherished, where she begins to believe that staying is no longer worth the pain. And when that moment comes, it is not because she did not love enough, it is because she has realized that love cannot be one-sided. A man's failures do not define him, but his unwillingness to correct them does. He cannot control his past mistakes, but he can control what he does next. He can choose to acknowledge the hurt he has caused, to take responsibility for his actions, to listen with humility instead of defensiveness. He can choose to change, not just in words but in deeds, proving through his actions that he values the heart he once wounded. True love requires effort. It requires the willingness to be better, to grow, to recognize when one's actions have caused harm. A man who truly loves a woman will not hide behind excuses. He will not dismiss her pain as an overreaction. He will not expect her to carry the burden of forgiveness without doing the work of change. Instead, he will seek to understand her, to make things right, to show through his consistency that his love is real. And yet, too often, men fall into the trap of believing that love is unconditional no matter how they behave. They believe that as long as they return with an apology, things will go back to how they were. But apologies without change are empty. They are nothing more than words that lose their meaning over time. A woman can only hear "I'm sorry" so many times before she stops believing it. She can only give so many second chances before she realizes that nothing is changing. And when that realization comes, it is not because she stopped loving, it is because she finally understood that love should not come at the cost of her own peace. A man who repeatedly hurts a woman's heart cannot expect her to stay the same. He cannot expect her to love with the same openness, the same warmth, the same trust when he has given her every reason to be cautious. He cannot blame her for building walls when he was the one who showed her that she needed them. If he wants to be the man who holds her heart, he must be the man who proves himself worthy of it. Mistakes will happen. No man is perfect. But love is not about perfection, it is about effort, about commitment, about choosing every day to love with intention. It is about recognizing one's faults and making the decision to be better, not just for oneself but for the person who has chosen to love despite those faults. Because love is not a right, it is a gift, and a gift that is not cherished will eventually be lost. Hope is a powerful force, greater than any pain, stronger than any wound, deeper than any heartbreak. When a woman has been hurt, it can feel as though the world has collapsed around her, as if the love she once believed in has vanished into nothingness. She may sit in silence, staring at the pieces of what once was, wondering if she will ever feel whole again. The weight of betrayal, of neglect, of unfulfilled promises can press upon her heart so heavily that she begins to believe the lie that love is not meant for her, that she will always be abandoned, that she will always be the one who gives without receiving in return. But the truth is this: no matter how deep the pain, no matter how shattered her heart may feel, hope remains. It may be hidden beneath the sorrow, it may be buried under the tears, but it is still there, waiting to rise again. There are moments when pain speaks louder than hope, when the memories of hurt play over and over again like a song that will not end. She may replay the words that broke her spirit, the actions that made her question her worth, the moments when she felt invisible in the presence of the one she loved. She may believe that her heart is too damaged to love again, that she has given all she had only to be left with nothing. And yet, even in those moments of darkness, there is a quiet voice that whispers, this is not the end. Hope is not the denial of pain, it is the belief that pain is not the final chapter. It is the certainty that healing is possible, that restoration can come, that love, real and true, still exists. It is the understanding that though a man may have broken her heart, he has not broken her spirit. He may have wounded her, but he has not taken away her ability to rise again. She is not defined by the one who hurt her. She is defined by the strength within her to keep moving forward, to keep believing, to keep hoping. Pain often blinds us to the future, making us believe that what we have experienced is all that will ever be. But life does not stop at heartbreak. It does not end with betrayal. A wounded heart can heal, not because time erases the scars, but because love is greater than any wound. There is a love that does not deceive, does not abandon, does not take without giving. It is a love that restores, that mends, that brings beauty out of ashes. It is a love that reminds her she is worthy, she is cherished, she is enough. She may not see it now. She may feel like she is walking through the ruins of what once was, struggling to find even the smallest glimpse of light. But hope does not disappear, even in the darkest moments. It lingers in the quiet, waiting for the day she is ready to reach for it again. It lives in the kindness of a friend, in the warmth of a sunrise, in the simple reminder that she has survived. A broken heart is not the end of her story. It is only a chapter, one that will one day be followed by new beginnings, new love, new joy. There will come a day when the pain no longer defines her, when she looks back and sees how far she has come, how much she has grown, how strong she truly is. And in that moment she will understand hope was never gone, it was with her all along. A woman's worth is not determined by the way a man treats her. It is not measured by how much he loves her, how well he speaks to her, or whether he chooses to stay or leave. A woman's worth is intrinsic, unshakable, and unchangeable. It is not given to her by any man, nor can it be taken away by one. Too often when a woman is hurt, she begins to question her own value. She wonders if she was not good enough, not beautiful enough, not worthy enough to be treated with love and respect. She replays the words that wounded her, the moments when she was ignored or cast aside, and she begins to believe the lie that something is wrong with her. But nothing could be further from the truth. A woman's worth was established long before any man entered her life. It was not placed in her hands by a lover or a husband. It was woven into her very being from the moment she was created. She carries within her a strength that cannot be diminished, a beauty that is not defined by mere appearance, and a heart that holds more love than she often realizes. Yet, when she is treated poorly, when she is betrayed, abandoned, or made to feel insignificant, it is easy to forget these truths. It is easy to believe that love, or the absence of it, defines her. She may look at the man who once cherished her and wonder what changed. She may ask herself why he no longer sees her the way he once did, why he no longer speaks to her with kindness, why he no longer fights for her love. She may blame herself, thinking that if only she had been different, if only she had done more, if only she had been better, things would have turned out another way. But the truth is, the way a man treats her is a reflection of him, not of her. It speaks to his heart, his character, his ability to love, not her value, not her worth. A woman is not less valuable because a man failed to see her worth. She is not less beautiful because a man failed to appreciate her presence. She is not less lovable because a man chose to walk away. She remains who she is, no matter how someone else perceives her. Just as the sun does not cease to shine because someone closes their eyes, a woman's worth does not disappear because a man fails to recognize it. But too often she allows his actions to define how she sees herself. She internalizes the rejection, the indifference, the mistreatment, and instead of realizing that he was the one who failed, she believes that she was not enough. This is one of the greatest lies that pain can whisper to a woman's heart, the lie that she is only as valuable as the love she receives. But true worth is never determined by another person's ability to love her. It is something she carries within herself, something that remains unshaken whether she is adored or overlooked, whether she is pursued or forgotten, whether she is treated with care or treated with disregard. A woman's worth is not found in validation from another. It is found in her own strength, her own resilience, her own heart. It is in the way she continues to love despite being hurt, the way she rises despite being knocked down, the way she chooses to hope even after disappointment. She is valuable because she exists, because she carries within her a light that no man can dim. She does not need to be chosen by someone else to be worthy. She was already chosen by something greater. There will be times when love fails her, when someone she trusted lets her down, when the person she gave her heart to does not treat it with care. But even in those moments, her worth remains untouched. Even in heartbreak, she is still whole. Even in sorrow, she is still enough. Because no man, no relationship, no earthly love has the power to define what was already determined long before she ever knew what it meant to be loved. She does not need to prove her worth to anyone. She does not need to earn love as if it is something she must fight for. She is already deserving of love, of kindness, of respect. And whether a man sees that or not does not change the truth of who she is. She is not defined by his actions. She is defined by something far greater, something unshakable, something eternal, something that no rejection, no betrayal, no heartbreak can ever take away. When a woman's heart is hurt, the emotional pain she feels often runs deeper than the surface of the situation. It is not simply about the moment of hurt. It is about the damage done to her sense of trust, her sense of safety, and her sense of self. Trust is one of the most powerful and fragile elements in any relationship. When trust is broken, it is like a crack in a foundation that undermines everything built upon it. The person who once made her feel secure, loved, and valued now becomes the source of her vulnerability, and the weight of that betrayal can feel suffocating. The pain isn't just from the actions themselves, but from the realization that the person she believed would protect her heart is the one who has wounded it. Trust isn't something that is easily given, it is earned, built over time with consistency, honesty, and love. When a woman offers her trust, she is giving someone the most sacred part of herself, the part of her that believes in love, in goodness, in safety. She believes that the man she loves will honor that trust, that he will protect her heart as fiercely as she protects his. But when that trust is betrayed, the wound goes far beyond the immediate hurt. It plants seeds of doubt in her mind, not just about him, but about love itself. After being hurt, she may question everything. She will wonder if she misread the signs, if she missed the warning signs, if she was naive in trusting someone who was not worthy of that trust. She will wonder if she will ever be able to trust anyone again, if the walls around her heart will be too high to let anyone in. And worse, she may wonder if she even deserves to trust again. Trust, once broken, can feel like a fragile thing, almost like glass shattering into 1,000 pieces that seem impossible to put back together. This is why the healing process is not simple. It is not enough for a man to simply say, "I'm sorry," and expect everything to go back to how it was. The apology is important, yes, but it is not the cure. Healing from the betrayal of trust requires time, consistency, and proof of change. Words, however sincere, are not enough. Actions speak louder than apologies. A woman who has been hurt needs to see that the man who wounded her is truly committed to making things right. She needs to see that he values the trust she gave him and that he is willing to put in the work to restore it. The trust she offers now, after being hurt, is not the same as before. It is cautious, it is careful, it is tested. She may open her heart, but it will no longer be the same open, unquestioning trust that she once had. It is a trust that has been scarred, a trust that is learning how to trust again. It will take time to rebuild, and even then it will never be the same as it was before. The wound will remain, though healed, a reminder of the pain that once was. The danger in broken trust is that it often leads to a cycle of doubt and suspicion. A woman who has been hurt may begin to doubt not just the person who hurt her, but the intentions of everyone around her. She will begin to second-guess every action, every word, every gesture of kindness. She will wonder if it is real, if it is genuine, or if it is just another lie, another empty promise. She will learn to be cautious, to hold a part of herself back, to protect herself from the possibility of further harm. The walls around her heart grow higher, and she becomes hesitant to love again with the same open vulnerability she once gave so freely. But even in the aftermath of broken trust, there is a chance for healing, for restoration. However, it requires effort from both parties. It requires the man to show, through consistent actions, that he is trustworthy. It requires him to prove through his choices that he understands the depth of her pain and is willing to do the hard work to rebuild the trust that was lost. It is not enough to apologize and expect things to go back to normal. Trust is fragile. It must be earned every day. And it is not easily rebuilt, especially when the hurt runs deep. But even with the pain of betrayal, there is still the possibility of healing. Trust can be restored over time, not through grand gestures, but through consistent, honest, and thoughtful actions. A man who truly values a woman's heart will never take her trust lightly. He will understand that the trust she gives is a gift, one that is earned and never taken for granted. He will show her that her heart is safe with him, that he will not betray it again, that he will not cause her to question her own worth. A woman who has been hurt can learn to trust again, but it takes a willingness to heal, a willingness to be vulnerable once more. She must decide for herself whether the man who hurt her is worthy of that trust. And even then, it is a gradual process. The scars of betrayal may always remain, but they do not have to define the future. Trust can be rebuilt, but it requires honesty, patience, and an unwavering commitment to restore what was broken. Until then, the pain of broken trust will linger, a reminder of the hurt that was caused and the strength it will take to heal. When a woman's heart is broken, it is not just a matter of emotional pain, it is a profound transformation that forces her to confront her own vulnerability. The hurt often leaves behind a sense of confusion, a loss of clarity about who she is and where she stands in the world. In the aftermath emotional turmoil, the question she faces isn't just about the relationship, it is about herself. She wonders if she will ever be able to feel whole again, if the pain will ever subside, if she will be able to trust or love again. The journey to healing is long, often difficult, and filled with moments of doubt. It is during these times that she must come to understand the importance of self-love and self-care, for it is only through embracing her own worth and nurturing her own spirit that she will ever be able to heal. Self-love for many is a concept that can be easily overlooked or undervalued. Society often teaches women to find their worth in the validation of others through the approval of a partner, the praise of their friends, or the admiration of those around them. But when that validation is withdrawn, when the person she loved most has let her down, she is forced to confront a painful truth. Her value is not dependent on anyone else's ability to love her. Self-love is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the foundation upon which healing is built. For a woman whose heart has been shattered, self-love means learning to care for herself in the deepest, most profound way. It means accepting that she is worthy of compassion, of tenderness, of grace, even in the midst of pain. Self-love is not about perfection, it is about understanding her humanity, embracing the parts of herself that are broken and imperfect, and choosing to honor her journey. It is in these moments of self-compassion that healing begins. It is through this love that she begins to rebuild, piece by piece, the woman she once was, only stronger, wiser, and more resilient. There is a temptation after experiencing heartache to turn inward and isolate, to believe that no one can understand the pain, that no one will be able to heal the wound left behind. And while there is truth in the fact that no one can walk this journey for her, there is also healing in the embrace of others. True self-love does not mean doing everything alone. It means allowing herself to be supported, to lean on others when needed, and to accept help without shame. Sometimes the greatest act of self-love is allowing others to love her, to be there for her, even when she feels unworthy of that love. In the process of healing, it is also crucial to recognize that a woman is not defined by the relationship or the heartbreak. She is not just the sum of her past mistakes or the pain she has endured. She is a woman of depth, of wisdom, of incredible strength, qualities that often become clearer when she is forced to face her own vulnerability. It is through this vulnerability that she will discover her true power. She will realize that while her heart was broken, it was never destroyed. While she was wounded, she was never defeated. She is capable of more than she ever thought possible. And it is through this realization that she learns the most important lesson of all: she is whole regardless of what others may or may not have done. Part of self-love is forgiving oneself. After a relationship ends, especially if there has been betrayal or hurt, a woman may blame herself. She might think she should have seen the signs sooner, should have acted differently, should have known better. But this kind of self-criticism is not only unkind, it is unnecessary. The truth is, she did the best she could with the knowledge and resources she had at the time. She loved with all of her heart, and there is no shame in that. Forgiveness does not mean excusing the actions of others. It means releasing the hold that their behavior has on her heart. It means letting go of the belief that her worth was ever tied to their treatment of her. Forgiveness, especially of oneself, is liberating. It frees her to move forward, to open her heart to healing, and to step into the future with grace and dignity. Another essential aspect of self-love is recognizing the importance of setting boundaries. After a painful experience, a woman must learn that her heart, mind, and body are sacred. She must honor herself by establishing boundaries that protect her from further harm. This may mean distancing herself from people or situations that drain her energy or that have the potential to hurt her again. It means saying no when necessary, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means recognizing that her peace and well-being are more important than pleasing others or avoiding conflict. Learning to set healthy boundaries is an act of self-respect, and it is essential for emotional recovery. As she works through the pain, a woman's journey of self-love is also about rediscovering the things that bring her joy, the things that make her feel alive. After a heartbreak, the world can feel gray and dull, but there is healing and rediscovery. It may be reconnecting with old hobbies, finding new passions, or simply spending time with those who truly care about her. It may mean taking a trip, reading a book, or doing something spontaneous that lifts her spirit. Rediscovering her own joy is a crucial step in reclaiming her sense of self-worth. She was not created to be defined by pain. She was created to live fully, to experience joy, to laugh, to love again. And it is through these small moments of happiness that she will begin to remember who she truly is beyond the hurt. Self-love is also about being patient with herself. It is easy to think that healing should be quick, that the pain should disappear in a certain amount of time. But healing does not work on a schedule. It takes as long as it takes, and each person's journey is unique. A woman must give herself grace to feel her emotions, to take the time she needs to heal, and to accept that some days will be harder than others. She must honor where she is in her journey, not where she thinks she should be. Healing is not linear, but it is a process, and it requires patience and compassion toward oneself. In the end, the true strength of a woman comes not from the love she receives from others, but from the love she is able to give herself. Through self-love, she learns to rise from the ashes of her heartbreak, to rebuild the parts of herself that were broken, and to move forward stronger than she was before. Self-love is the greatest gift she can give herself, for it is through loving herself that she becomes capable of loving others in a way that is pure, strong, and unconditional. In closing, let us remember that a woman's journey through heartache, through broken trust, and through the pain of betrayal is not one of defeat. It is a journey of profound strength, transformation, and self-discovery. The wounds may be deep, the scars may remain, but they do not define her. She has the power to rise again, to heal, and to rebuild. True fulfillment is not found in the love or approval of others. It is found in the quiet moments when she learns to love herself, to honor her worth, and to embrace her own strength. It is through this self-love, this self-respect, and this understanding that she comes to realize that she is whole, just as she is. She does not need anyone else to complete her. She is complete in herself, and she carries within her a light that no one can extinguish. So to every woman who has ever been hurt, remember this: you are more than the pain you've endured. You are more than the love you have given. You are more than the person who hurt you. You are a woman of incredible worth, strength, and resilience. And you are worthy of all the love, joy, and fulfillment that this life has to offer. Stand tall, rise up, and walk forward with the confidence that you are enough just as you are.